All Ego Ethan Page, Jake Hagger, and the world's strongest man Mark Henry are amongst the latest to leave AEW, to not renew their contract, along with Matt Hardy within the past month, Jade Cargill before him, and so on, in what appears to be a mass exodus of AEW. Arn Anderson recently basically made it publicly known that he's probably not going to be re-signing with AEW either. So is there a mass exodus? What's the deal here? Well, perhaps. But for more on Mark Henry leaving AEW, here's him talking about his decision to leave. Then on the back end of that, we're going to go ahead and get into some of the reasons that this might be going on. Here's Mark Henry on Busted Open explaining why he made the choice to leave AEW.
My impending contract status has reached an end. My contract with AEW is set to expire tomorrow, the 28th. And today, of course, is the 27th. So I wanted to address that matter. And Tony Khan said at the press conference that he was very happy and proud of what we did together. And I feel exactly the same way. I appreciate everything that happened at AEW with Tony Khan and the Khan family. I had a great experience. And I do feel like that it's time for me to take more time to handle themarkhenry.com and the Remarkable brand, and focus that attention on what my next steps are.
Sean Ross Sapp was the first to put it out there that you're a free agent as of the end of Sunday night going into Monday morning, and that you opted not to sign your AEW contract offer that we had discussed here in the past. It is currently Wednesday, April 10th, as we tape this. Where do things stand as of this second for you? I didn't see you in the ladder match at WrestleMania, so I guess you didn't end up there.
Yeah, well, there you have it. Monday night, Sunday night into Monday morning at midnight. That is when my contract expired. So yes, I am a free agent right now. Just negotiating, talking. I have interacted with everyone. Still interacting with AEW, and that's where we're at right now. I whenever my deal ended up running out, that allowed me the opportunity to negotiate and speak to everyone available, really weigh in on my options. And that's what I'm doing right now.
So I think this is simultaneously good and bad. Obviously, it's never a good look when people are trying to leave your company, especially in big groups like that, and especially when it's younger talent that actually have a future ahead of them, like an Ethan Page. I don't know how young he is, but he's definitely got more ahead of him. He wasn't used to his full potential. Well, I'm not the biggest Ethan Page fan. I could take that or leave it. I don't really care. But it's not a good look, right? You don't want to keep seeing that. Lexis King made the jump. Jade Cargill got the fuck out of there. Punk was fired or quit or however, whichever way you want to look at it. But he left. And probably more to come, right? Ricky Starks isn't happy there. Arn Anderson's going to be on his way out. We know Jeff Hardy's going to leave as soon as he gets the chance. Which, again, who cares about any of these people, really? Ricky Starks. I would actually like to see Ricky Starks in WWE because I really like Ricky. And I see a lot of potential in him. He needs to eat a sandwich or, hit the weights a little bit harder or something. But I see a lot of potential in that guy. There are a lot of people that would benefit from leaving the AEW's current booking situation because the problem with AEW right now is that it's over bloated. And that's why this is simultaneously a good thing. The roster has too many people. They can't possibly use everybody appropriately on TV. No matter how much TV time they have, no matter how many more hours they get added to Dynamite, rumors that it's going to get added, a third hour to there. Maybe that'll, take away, Rampage will die and then the Dynamite will absorb a third hour. Rumors of that are going around, but either way, no matter which way, you can start up your 2 YouTube shows again if you want to. There's not enough room to give everybody adequate TV time to develop. Not only that, but they don't do house shows, so nobody's really getting the reps out there. So that's a problem. So clearing out a large chunk of people on your roster that aren't really being used properly to begin with is not a bad thing. You could say, oh, that's a big, Ethan Page, Sean Spears too, by the way. Let's throw his name out there as another guy that left AEW to the WWE. Now he's not going to be a difference maker. He was never a difference maker anywhere he's ever been. He might be a good agent or a backstage guy, but he is most certainly not going to make a fucking difference in anybody's ratings or anything like that. He's not going to suddenly get good after all these years. And I mean good by entertaining to watch because, like I said, he should be like a trainer or an agent or something. He's got talent. But Ethan Page, man, that's a big hit in the balls. Not that, like I said, not that I like Ethan Page, not that AEW was doing anything with him or had plans with him, but like he's a guy that WWE probably could end up making a bigger star than he ever was in AEW, which would be, a blow to AEW. Anytime you lose a guy that's going to go be a bigger, like when in the 90s when Jericho and Eddie and all those people went over to WWE. They were bigger stars once they got there. That hurt WCW significantly. AEW probably should have cut all these people anyway. There's no reason to keep them around. They're not using them for anything. Tony's not listening to any advice backstage, and most of the wrestlers are not listening to advice backstage. So being the wise man amongst many wise men back there, like a Mark Henry, for example, I would love to have Mark Henry in my locker room. Problem is, nobody gives a shit about Mark Henry being in their locker room. Nobody listens to him. Handful of people get his advice. Everybody else says, don't care. Okay, fine. You don't have to listen. Tony Khan doesn't have to listen. But he's also not on TV. Does he still do the Rampage thing? I don't even know if he does that. I don't watch Rampage. But clearly he's not being used the way that he thought he was going to be. He came in to do like philanthropy type stuff too, local outreach. I don't even think he's doing that shit anymore. So it's time for Mark Henry to go. I would have cut him anyway, let him go. Ethan Page wasn't being used properly. It's going to be a blow, but you know what? Fine. Let's get rid of him because you weren't using him. And there's a whole bunch of other people that should probably be cut or leave the AEW roster. And it seems like what Tony's doing is just... And we don't know what happens behind the scenes. Maybe all of these people got offers from AEW and Tony, and they just turn them down because they don't want to be there anymore. That could be the case. But it also could very well be the case that Tony's doing that thing where he just, doesn't re-sign you after your contract expires, doesn't call you, doesn't tell you that he's not going to re-sign you. He just ghosts you. You're just like, hey, my contract's about to expire. And then you just don't hear anything anymore ever from anybody in the AEW office. And you're just like, okay, I guess I don't work here anymore. My contract's up and nobody ever called me to say anything about it. So I guess I'm a free agent, maybe. I don't know. So that could be the case. And it's probably a mix of the two. It could be a mix of the two. Tony didn't sound too excited to rehire Mark Henry. He did, mentioned it on the media call for Double or Nothing, and he was asked about it. He's like, yeah, I really like and respect Mark Henry. Oh, we'll have to look at the contract. Dude, his contract expires in a week. What do you mean we'll have to look at it? You didn't look at it already? So he already knew either, I don't care to re-sign this guy, or he's not going to re-sign. It's a problem, but it's probably not the worst problem for AEW. It's not a good look, but AEW doesn't need to worry about that so much right now. I guess if more people leave, it could start to look like a bleeding problem. Rats fleeing a sinking ship, absolutely. And that very well could be the case. We need to pay attention to this. But I wouldn't panic quite yet because AEW has such an overbloated roster. They need to make cuts. They need to be actively cutting people, not just letting contracts expire. But if Tony doesn't want to actively cut anybody, then letting contracts expire is the way to go. And in my opinion, all of these people, with the exception of Jade Cargill, I would have never let go. Ever. CM Punk, I probably would have tried to hang on to as best as I could too. But like Lexus King, Ethan Page, Mark Henry, big fucking Jack Swagger. What has Jack Swagger done on the roster since he's been there? He's lucky to have a job because he's friends with Chris Jericho. And I like Swagger as a person. You know, he's a big dude. He's got a good presence. He's got the credibility from MMA, but he's a personality vacuum. Talked about in another clip, Chris Jericho's Vortex. His Vortex sucked up fucking Jack Swagger's personality because he doesn't have any. So fine. Let all of these people walk. A Matt Hardy, who cares? What did he go? You heard Matt Hardy complain, I don't think I'm being utilized properly. I see, me and Jeff as having a significant tag team run where we can help out the younger guys, and we can't help out the younger guys unless we can be taken credible, aka means we need to be given a lot of wins and stuff so that we can have a few select losses. And I'm not saying Hardy's trying to, I want to win all my matches, but he wants to be way more prominently featured and used than people see in him. I think he's, as much as I like Matt Hardy, I think he overestimates the value in himself on TV. He's like, the people in the autograph lines love me. There's an audience for the Hardy Boys. Maybe for the Hardy Boys somewhere, they would get a pop with the initial return. Literally nobody cares about this fucking woke, broken Matt Hardy shit that he's still doing. It was cool when he came out with it. It fit the times somehow. It just seemed to work when he became broken and he started doing all that shit. And it was innovative, and he was doing the stuff out at the Hardy compound. It was innovative. It was fun to watch, and it fit the time, this was pre-pandemic, but it was a good change of pace for him. Now it seems like he's going back to something that worked for him in the past and hopes it will, but it's not. It's like, I feel like he should have came out with a new presentation. If he's going to go back, he has not played Broken Matt on TV in several years. And he's itching to be used properly. And I'm not going to renew with AEW because I feel like I'm being underutilized. So I'm going to go out and I'm going to sign with TNA to be Broken Matt Hardy again. Ooh, people just fucking, Broken Matt. We love Broken Matt so much. Such a huge draw Broken Matt Hardy is. I think it's delusional. That could just be me. Fuck, tell me if I'm wrong in the comments that you would pay money for Broken Matt in 2024. I'm not knocking that it was cool when it came out. I loved me some Broken Matt. I don't love Broken Matt now. I think it was a misstep. I think another good release from AEW. Let him go. There's more people that should go too. It would help out AEW's roster. It's going to help out their budget because they're not going to get the TV deal that they want. They're going to get a TV deal and they're going to get a raise. They're going to get an increase on it, but it's not going to be where they want it to be or hoped it would be, or maybe even estimated it to be when they made a lot of these big signings. So it'll free up some budget on the talent roster, and it'll free up, it'll make room for the people on the roster on TV. You only need enough roster to fill your TV time, plus a few bench players. You don't need a whole third string roster in case your entire second string roster gets hurt. Granted, there's a lot of injuries in AEW. There's a very reckless style there. It's guaranteed money, so nobody really actually cares if they get hurt or not. They just, okay, well, shit, I'll go do a cool bump. If I break my leg, fall off the cage, break a leg, no problem. Doesn't matter. Sit home, collect a paycheck. Yeah. Sounds like a good fucking deal to me. You know what I mean? No hurry to come back or anything like that. I think this is an overall good thing. It's not a good look, but it's going to benefit AEW in the long run. They should make more cuts. They should make more extreme cuts. No pun intended for Matt and Jeff Hardy. They need to make more cuts. In fact, I've been kicking around the idea, and I might do this in this session even. Not in this video, but in this recording session. I've been kicking around the idea of doing a roster cut video, like going through AEW's roster and naming people that should be cut. Because they got way too many people under contract there for the TV time that there is available. And not just that, but like time to give each of them a story, to give them attention, to get them over with the crowd. You don't need that many people. You don't need hundreds of people on your roster for 5 hours of TV time. That's weird. But, I'm not a billionaire, so what the fuck do I know? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. What are your thoughts on any of the people that have left AEW, either for WWE or just who knows where they're going to go, or if they're going to go, they're just getting out, right? Some of these people, what are your thoughts? Are they going to be missed in AEW I don't think anybody could look at Ethan Page, Matt Hardy, Mark Henry, Jake Swagger, Hagger, Swagger, Jack, doesn't matter. Lexus King. Nobody can look at any of those people and go, whoa, golly gee, that's a really big kick in the balls of AEW. No, nobody cared about any of those people. Ethan Page there can be something done with him. Everybody else, And that's not a knock on them. Like, I like Mark Henry a lot. I respect Mark Henry like a motherfucker. Matt Hardy I like. Swagger I don't mind. But they're not doing anything for AEW. That's just my 2 cents. A lot of other people aren't too, and they should probably be cut too. And be damned what people think about, everybody's leaving AEW. Well, WWE ain't going to hire all of them. And they're not going to be able to make all of them stars, right? They can cherry pick. We're going to take Cody, and we're going to take Punk, and we're going to take Jade. And they're all going to be huge stars on our TV because fuck you. Okay, well, we'll see what you do with Shawn Spears and Lexus King and any of those smaller people. Ethan Page, okay. We'll see what you do with these guys. We'll see what they do. That's my 2 cents. Let me know yours. I would love to know what you think of all of this down in the comments below. The people that were released, should more be released or cut or did not renew or whatever the fuck? Should more not renew or be cut, or are they big losses? Let me know. Peace, love, and pizza. I am your boy, Seth Grimes, and we'll catch you in the next video. Bro, thanks for checking out the video. You can find more great videos by hitting the subscribe button. And bro, while you're down there, hit that like button, leave a comment, and all of that other crap. Bro.